Hi, I'm Kia Cordo. Thank you for joining me for Bold and Beautiful. Today, I want to share a thought with you. I want to begin this podcast with my story. I've been so blessed and I'm so grateful for coming to the understanding of who I am, knowing my identity, and understanding that my identity would be targeted throughout my life. I grew up in upstate New York. My home life was solid. My parents, they're amazing, and they worked really hard to provide a home for me and my siblings, as well as everyone around them. And if you've had the privilege to meet my parents, you would know they make everyone feel special, like they matter. So it was a surprise to me when I had to struggle over the years with who I was and my identity. Education was really important to them. So it was important to us. My brothers and sisters worked really hard academically and socially because we understood that knowledge was power and having the power to enrich our lives was necessary. My parents have retired from professional positions, but in their 80s, they're still taking college classes together because they know that learning how to be better is critical to our success. However, underneath all of that, all of the striving for success had to be our belief in God. One of the first scriptures that they taught us as kids was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. To this day, that has been instilled in me, even though I didn't always follow their instructions. But I've worked in education for over 22 years, teaching young people that their options are as limited as they allow, because that's what my parents instilled in me. If I have faith, nothing is impossible to me. And I still believe that. So I was not lacking confidence most of my childhood and even into my teens. But I did face challenges and I had regret over bad decisions that I made along the way in my life. I've had to learn many lessons about myself, lessons about others, but mostly about myself. But through my faith in God, I learned how to be bold and beautiful. And let me repeat that. I learned how to be bold and beautiful. It didn't just happen. And I'm not talking about the rambunctiousness bold or rambunctious bold or the superficial beautiful, though I've done both. But the boldness that comes from knowing who I am and where my strength comes from. Understanding that beauty is from God. Because he made me, I'm already beautiful. Because he saved me from so much, from others' opinions, and frankly, from myself, I'm bold. That's what this podcast is about, identity. Do you know who you are? What things or people threaten your identity and your purpose? Because there will always be someone and something that tries to do just that, destroy your identity, destroy your purpose, and completely derail you. But you can't let that happen. You're too important. You're too special. You are uniquely you, and you have a purpose. My favorite verses in the Bible are found in Psalm 139, expressly verses 14 through 18. And it says this, I will praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. Can you imagine going down to Hollywood Beach or Fort Lauderdale in South Florida, if you're in South Florida, and counting the grains of sand? These scriptures are incredible. And it tells us a few principles, key principles that I think I want you to take away with, I want you to walk away with this week. Number one, God took his time in making me and in making you. He was careful to make us wonderful after his own image, according to the Bible. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about what that means at another time, because there's a lot there. Number two, no one could comprehend what God was doing when he made us individually unique. He saw my substance, what I could do and become, and when no one else had a clue, not even my parents. They may have had some ideas, they may have had some dreams, and as awesome as they are, They just participated in God's creation, carried me, they fed me, they cared for me. But God saw fit to identify me with himself. So when he looks at me, when he looks at you, he sees a part of himself. It's incredible. Number 3, he saw all of my days before I began to live them. That gives me assurance that when I have had a bad day or a difficult time, God knows exactly how to get me back on track because he knows where I'm going. I think I'm going to stick with him. And number 4, God thinks about me all the time. His thoughts are more in number than the grains of sand. That's pretty incredible. He's constantly thinking about how to bring me into my purpose, how to establish me in this life for all eternity. He knows my name and he knows yours. Matthew 10:30 says that the very hairs of my head are numbered. He knows when each of them falls. His detail of us is spectacular. Those verses have changed my life. And for the past 30 years, I've made a conscious decision to live like God knows who I am and is intimately invested in me, intimately invested in you and knowing who you are. So I can't wait to bring you some exciting, life-changing, strength-building podcasts of people who figured out who they are and how to live bold and beautiful every day. If you have any questions that can be addressed on Bold and Beautiful, please go to my website at kiacordeaux.com, leave a message or write your questions below in the link. Please check out my book, Just Breathe Again, in print or in or the enhanced ebook that I just released. You can find those on my website as well, kiacordeaux.com, also in Amazon and Barnes & Noble and the major book dealers. On my website, you can also download the free study journal to accompany Just Breathe Again. It will encourage you. Invite some friends over, have a Bible study with it. It would be wonderful. If you'd like to hear more about how to be strong in your identity and purpose, be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be praying for you. Now, go ahead and be bold and beautiful because God's got you.